And we are going live here on Facebook as well as on Spreaker, Omi's Organic Broadcaster. How's everyone doing? And it's Friday. So come on in and give me those thumbs up and make sure you tell a friend that I'm on, that I'm live, and that you follow me, and make sure on Facebook Live that you're following me. Don't just be a friend, become a follower. And to my speaker friends, I want to say, how do you do what you do? You have given me 100 strong and support, and I'm so happy that you're backing me, that we are hosting this project for this foundational class just for Spreaker. They are the supporting people. Yes, I don't know how you can beat 1.8 people following you, but they're doing the doggone thing. And for my Facebook followers, I want to say thank you too for following me. But I'd rather you not just be a friend, but be a follower. So go out and follow me and give me those thumbs up and like my show, because I'm bringing this show on just for you. Now, if you're out there in the audience, go ahead. I know it's about time for you to get off work. So this is going to be a doozy. You definitely don't want to miss this particular show. And I'm asking for you to, do you know what the weapon is inside of you? What is your weapon that you're carrying? It's a concealed weapon, I must add. So don't go looking around here for it. In the atmosphere, it is concealed. No one can see it. But we're going to muster up the energy to bring up your weapon so that your weapons will no longer be concealed, but they will be visible to the naked eye for yourself as well as for others around you. Now, you've been carrying this weapon for a long, long time, but unfortunately, you keep getting on your knees and you keep praying to a spook God. Why are you praying to a spook God? Haven't I already told you that you need only push God forward in times of a crisis? That's when God should have showed up on your face. You keep forgetting that he's here for you and he's sitting on your head, and you keep going right back to that spook God, praying to someone in the sky that can't hear you or see you. No, no, no. God didn't tell you he was going to come through the sky. He said he would show up in your life, and you have a weapon. And we're going to reveal that weapon in just a second. Hold tight, ladies and gentlemen. The timer is going off. I have to go and shut it off. Just a second. program. Okay, and we're back. How's everybody doing? Hello, Tina Taylor. I wanted to say Tina Turner. Thank you so much for joining me. Just took a little break there, and we're back on the air live with Spreaker. And my Spreaker followers out there, how are you doing? And the Facebook Live people, how are you doing? Our topic is, are you familiar with your weapon? What concealed weapons are you carrying that no one knows about? And we're going to talk about some higher level thinking. So put your thinking caps on. Okay, Tina, I'm waving back at you. Hi, Mrs. Lady God of Woman. Thank you so much for welcoming me. And I have been thinking, we are still waiting for someone to come out of the sky and to part the sky on our behalf. And when we have already been given the nature and the weapons, and they've been concealed in our Cosmic records. Now, many of us have been awakened and we know about these Cosmic records, and some of us don't. And for those of us who don't know about the Cosmic records, let me equate you to these Cosmic records. And you only need to be in a little discourse or backed into the wall or put on notice or frightened for these weapons to be revealed. Now, some of you have had tangles at your job and you've gotten frustrated and you just got up and quit. No, no, no. You have weapons of mass destruction that nobody knows about. You don't have to get angry with anyone. But why do we walk away from Mr. Enforcer and we never give them what they totally deserve? But when it comes to our own people, we are ready to whack some heads. We are ready to destroy our own people over just a little quarrel, over just a little situation where it's a misunderstanding. We are ready to destroy our own kinfolk. We will take our mothers, even our fathers, through the third degree over a little misunderstanding, but we keep pardoning Mr. Enforcer. We walk away with our heads down and between our legs as if we don't have a concealed weapon. So what might that concealed weapon be, you say, Omi? What is it, to be exact? And you don't always have to flaunt it around to tell the community that you have it on you. And we go and get their carnal weapons and we conceal their guns as if they are going to free us from any major confrontation. We're going to have to put their concealed weapons down and their carnal weapons down because they don't serve us well, Tina. They don't serve us well. Usually the person that pulls their gun to defend themselves ends up in an altercation and ends up in court and ultimately catches a case. So I want to help those people who think that these guns that you have purchased and gotten license for, that you think that will save you. They're not your saving grace. I want you to know that. And no, you don't have to have the gift of gab to talk your way out of a situation. You just got to know the magic words. And some of you have not gone to your Cosmic records to find out what are the magic words. Well, you're going to have to take up a study. I can't sit here and give you all of the magic words as we speak. You're going to have to take up a study. And let me see here. I got to try this and see. You have to take up a study. And it's important that you take up that study real soon, because a lot of you are laying out in the cut. What we got here? Let's see here. Okay, why is it so dark in here? Okay. Stay with me, people. Don't leave. We're having a little difficulty here. Here we go. I don't know why that. Okay, here we go. Okay. All right. Thank you, Tina. I do a little technician work. Once again, we are live here on the Spreaker Show and live on Facebook Live. For those of you who don't know me, I am Omika7 on the live Facebook, and I'm Omika8 on the Spreaker Show on the Organic Broadcaster. And on the Organic Broadcaster, we speak about holistic things and organic things, and we talk about organic gardening. But I've been inviting my speaker people in to hear from our Friday night show and our circle. This is what you call the circle, when we come together as a family, a communal group, to talk about real issues that are going on in our race. And we are in a race. I want you to know that we are in a war. And this is no time for you to hide your gifts or for you to walk away from your weapons. A lot of people carry around concealed weapons like a knife, a butcher knife, or a pocket knife, or even a gun, thinking that this is going to free them and protect them. Well, those things are not what I'm talking about. Put away your carnal-minded thinking. We're on some higher level thinking. So come on and go with me on this higher level school of thought. We're talking about manifesting our skills and our skills in spoken word. There are over thousands of powerful words that we must learn to rehearse. Everyone must learn to produce spoken word. So when you are in a jam, you can transcend yourself out of the situation. You can put yourself in a trance. You can leave the environment and leave the situation. And no matter what is going on around you, you can transcend your mental body away from the problematic issues. And you must know this because you carry weapons. And a lot of you women carry these concealed weapons, and you are dangerous with your mouth. I know I am. We can cut going in and cut going out. But we must understand how to maintain our cool so that we're calm and collective when there is an altercation that kicks off, and you know how the altercation kicks out in the club. And all people do is say, get Lisa and them and let's go. They never stay around for the altercation. But we have to understand that our weapons are not carnal through the pulling down of stronghold, that our weapons are spiritual. And I've already did a talk on our African Americans naturally spiritual. Yes, we are. You let an altercation break out where the woman or the mother is there. The mother takes on the masculine role, and she will lift the car if she has to. She will lay a brother down if she has to and put him in a headlock to protect her tribe. We got to start recognizing who our tribe is, okay? And we have to understand that we have to give the message to our lineage and our youth and our youngins about this magical thing that we got going on in our Caustic records. Well, most people have said, oh, that's fetish. That's High John the Conqueror. That is voodoo. That is not something that we practice in today's time. We're all Christians. We are Christians. Do you know that over 20% of those who call themselves Christian were beaten into submission? They didn't go willingly to become a Christian. As a matter of fact, that cross is what killed Jesus Christ, if you didn't know it. And we must understand that the Jesus we know is not going to come back and deal with our affairs. God does not deal with the issues and affairs of man, the God that I know that created the universe. Now, the God that he placed within your heart, you and that God will cooperatively work together on one accord, and you will do the work. But God is not going to enter into the affairs of man. He only wants to use your vehicles to no experience through. So when you get in a fight, this God that created the universe is not coming to your rescue. You better talk to the God on the inside of you, the one he gave you last night that you keep rejecting. The one that he told you to give the credit to that sits on your head, and that is Ori. Once we get the understanding that Ori resides, rule, rest, and abide within us, then we'll know we're God. Then we don't have to put out an SOS sign and say, hey, is God coming down here to deal with this stuff? When is God going to show up? How come God ain't been here yet? God is here, and you're it. Just like the kids playing the game, you're it. So why don't you come out of hiding and stop concealing the human weapon? You are the weapon. And that's why they keep pulling their guns on you, because you are the weapon. And they're wondering, what the hell are they doing here? I better pull my gun out. They are the weapon. They know you the weapon, but how come you don't know you're the weapon? You're walking around here scared, fidgeting, scratching where you don't itch, and allowing someone to put you on notice and put you in a fear mode. Well, you got to back up and change those gears, because you going down the wrong road, buddy. You are the Shazam. You are the stuff. You are the thing that they've been waiting on. And that's why they keep pulling their guns on you, because they know you are the Messiah, the born Messiah that came here from the Hebrews. He've always known that you are the one that they didn't kill. So now they're trying to kill every last one of you to make sure that they get you this time. But you cannot kill God's creation. You cannot destroy God's creation. That's why they keep on popping up over and over again, and they keep populating the prison thinking they're going to get the right leader. But you cannot get and kill God's people. God's people will never be destroyed. But you must know who you are. Everyone else does except for you. So when are you going to realize you're carrying a concealed weapon and you are the concealed vehicle? And when you operate in a car or vehicle, you're a concealed weapon, and they figure you're going for your weapon. Stop fooling yourself. You are the living epistle. You are the temple. That church will do you no good. You are the temple. So the arch enemy has come after you. And every time he sees you in the streets, he wants to do you one, because he knows you are a concealed weapon. So what must you do to protect yourself? What must you do to protect yourself? You must pour libation. You must pour libation every time you leave the house. Pour libation. Call on those ancestors. Call on them, Eli. They will come and they will pick you up and they will make you strong. You must pour libation and call each one of their names. Call their names out. Grandpa, Papa, Auntie Essie, Auntie Bessie. Call out that name and ask them to make the way plain and clear for you. Every time you put your vehicle in park or in drive, every time you leave the house, call on your ancestors, Eli, because they will come. They know you're the living epistle. They know you are the stuff. And why is it that we have not learned who we are and that we carry a concealed weapon? Our bodies are a concealed weapon. Our minds, because the mind in the hand of the oppressor is a terrible thing. And he's been confusing many minds, going to stop a car to confuse you of what your rights are, to confuse you of what you're being pulled over for, always in the dark, never in the light, knowing whether you right or wrong. Well, our ancestors came to tell us that you got to get out of these churches and you got to start communing together starting this September for the African New Year's Day, that they will congregate there in the parks. Wherever there's a park and a river, that they will be there. You must possess a forest or a park and go there in droves right before sunup, before the sun comes up, to call on their names. And this will be the meeting place for them each time you need them to get you out of a little situation. Leaving an offering for them. Not necessarily monetary gains, but a plate of food or fruit. But leaving something for Mother Yamenye at the ocean to let her carry your prayers across the rivers. So that African New Year's, this particular ritual is done on a regular basis every September. And I'm going to say around the middle of September, which you can check out the dates, but make sure you go there with your family, with a piece of fruit or with a plate or offering that you'll leave there. And in exchange, they will support your family. They will make sure that when you leave the house, people will leave you alone. They will make sure when you come to the crossroad that you leave your 4 pennies there at the crossroad, because some of you are being pushed to the level of going to the crossroad and not knowing what to do. You cannot fidget when you're in these cars. You cannot make the wrong move when you're in these cars. They are beating people down to the ground and knocking their heads up against the pavement. We are human beings. And even if you ran a red light, that is no way to treat a person who could receive a ticket and pay the fine. But nevertheless, you have a hidden agenda, they think. You are carrying a concealed weapon. And that is why they're going to continue to come after you. So what must you do? Praying has not been the answer, because you don't even know who you're praying to. You don't even know that you're praying to yourself and the God that rule, rest, and abide within your being. You have no clue that you are the concealed weapon. And that's why everybody hates Chris. That's why everybody hates Angela. That's why all of those other nationalities hate you for no reason at all. None other than the fact that you have excelled at all of the athletic sports. You have excelled in the arena of the political parties. You have excelled in developing children. But what we failed in is keeping our families together and keeping our children out of the system. We've got to go back and snatch our children out of the fire and bring them home for good, and vow in our heart that we will first be a family. And that means that we must have everyone define their responsibility as a mother, as a wife, as a husband. These are the things that we failed at. We did not know our responsibility as a father, that a father comes home at night to his family to bring his substance and his money's there, not having a little chicken dinner on the side, a 2-piece on the side, trying to take care of other households. No. See, we've got this wrong idea about why we're being chastised. We're being chastised for a lot of reasons, that we have not made our home a happy home. And we first must demonstrate that we can be a family. Then we'll be a force to be reckoned with. Then we can make decisions at the polls because we're united like a tribe. But we cannot continue to think if somebody's going to throw us a bone. They're not going to throw us a bone. And we're going to have to find out just what the problem is. Hello, Melinda Harvey. There's my niece out there. Thank you so much for joining me. We're on a roll here today talking about the hidden weapon. Do you know what your weapon is, Melinda? Do you know that you carry a powerful weapon? And that's not just a gift of gab, but a powerful weapon where you have thousands of words that will cut going in and cut going out. And we've got to stop utilizing the church to do everything for us. We were a family before we ever went to church. And we must identify with everybody's role in the family, with the child at the center, meaning that the child is the most important. But we give the less amount of attention to the child, and we do not hold the child in the position of the most important thing in our life. We may buy the child plenty of material things and give them monies, but we have not given them our time, and we have not passed the baton over to them. We have not taught them how to be leaders and how to be a part of the next generation who's going to lead this family. So we've got some work to do, some serious work to do, Tina. And the reason why I say that, we have concealed this weapon so well that we don't even know that it's there. We got to wake up. We were born here with our Cossack records, and these are the sum total of our ancestors. Whatever they were, that is who we are, plus the advancement that we've made in life. So we got some knowledge and a cesspool to pull from. We don't have to walk around here ignorant and unintelligent of the fact. No, I'm not talking about this second-rated education that we got from the man. That is just something you do to stay alive. When I'm talking about our ancestors left us with a cesspool of consciousness that we have the ability to have mother wit. And mother wit will teach you what to do when you have a sick child. Mother wit will teach you how to be a wife. And mother wit will teach you how not to tear down your house with your own hands. When you get a situation where your man has been cheating, now you're going to throw the man out and the baby too. And now you are sitting there asking the welfare to take care of you. Mother wit will tell you how to hang in there, girl. And mother wit will tell you that men are going to go out and stray. But if that's a good man, you take him to task and hit him where it hurts and bring him on home. But we are too quick that we are throwing that man out and watching that man go down the streets to somebody else's house to fill their refrigerator full of all the things that you used to have. Now, we got to get a handle on this. We got to stop saying, well, I don't need to be married and I'm too young to be married. Marriage is honorable, and the institution of marriage is honorable. And all of us should realize the shacking is not something that God wanted us to do, but he wanted us to unite in holy matrimony so that we can bring forth the lineage of our harvest, our children. And I hear that the children are not being treated right. And there is this human trafficking of women all over the diaspora, not to mention how they're taking innocent little children and they are taking their organs out and selling them throughout the country. It has really come a time when the human nature of a person is not respected nor honored. Human life has been desecrated, and we've got to figure out what we can do to reveal to our Black people that we can no longer do the damage to ourselves by leaving our children alone at home for the state to come and take away from us. We can no longer be out there trying to out-pope the Pope, buying everything that the man has and thinking we can live the same lifestyle they have. We've got to come to conclusion that we have a concealed weapon. And because we have the weapon, we should not be afraid or fearing any man. But yet we take up with the cardinal guns and weapons that they have, thinking it's going to secure us. It will not secure us. We've got to take a different disposition on this whole thing if we're truly going to be the people that rule again. This is the year of 400 and some odd years that we've been out of slavery, right? Jim Crow laws should have been over with, right? But no, yet they're still being perpetuated. And through a high-tech lynching that you don't even know anything about, but yet you're carrying a concealed weapon. You also have clairvoyant ability to see into the lives of others and to see into the future. You were given this gift because you were given the essence of God. You were made by God. You were created by God. And well, you were created by God, I wanted to say, and other people were just made. And when you make somebody, you can't give them a soul. But those who were created receive the spirit and the soul. And we got a lot of churches around here jumping around like they got the spirit, like the spirit is in the house, and they're falling to the floor with no repercussion. And they're getting up off the floor the same way they came on the podium, leaving the same way. So you got a lot of things going on in church to make us think that we're holy. And God did say, be ye holy, for I am holy. But all of this jumping around, falling to the floor does not make you holy. And the sad thing about it, you got more issues going on in the church with divorces, pedophiles, preachers dating other women in the church, homosexuality. How can someone believe in a church again? How can they? No, you must make your church within yourself, within your being. You must be the living epistle. You're the temple, and God will reside in you. And you must keep the temple clean, because we cannot keep these churches clean. But nevertheless, this is Friday night, and everybody loves Friday night. Come on, Melinda, sing with me. Everybody, 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 everybody loves Friday night. I said, everybody, 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 everybody loves Friday night. Come on, Tina. Tina Taylor's in the house tonight. Let's see who's else in the house. Okay. All right. Let me see here. Okay. Melinda's in the house. And Tina, you giving a lot of dab today. And Eric, how are you? Okay. And this is not church, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I'm not going to profess that this is church. I'm just going to say it's our Friday night circle when we get into the family and talk about what's going on with the family. So nevertheless, I want to say that I come on here because I do believe in my family. I believe in the African-American family. We are going to do better than what we've been doing. We are going to show ourselves strong, and we are going to rise up and come out of this anesthesis. We're not going to be asleep any longer. We're going to be conscious-minded, because a lot of us, we love Jesus so much that we cannot release him. And we think Jesus is God, when in fact, Jesus has never been God. We are to love God. And God said, put no other God before him. He's the jealous God. So why would you go out loving Jesus the Christ? The Christ is just a title. And each and every one of us can put on a Christly title. And that does not mean that we have to be Jesus. We all can take on the mannerism of Jesus. Jesus was a concept. If he had to live, he would have been our eldest brother. He's a prophet. He is not God. And we've got to stop giving Jesus all the credit for everything. We put this white man with blue eyes in front of us, and we give him credit for everything. So we're doing idolatry worshiping when we worship the white Jesus. And I don't know how other way I can tell you that you have been doing idolatry worshiping, because God told you to take dominion over the earth and subdue it. And because he told you to take dominion, he will not take on any of your affairs and come down here to get you out of any messes. He gave you the authority to take dominion and subdue the earth. And because he told you to do that, he only wants to know experience through you and I. And each one of us can give him a different experience based on our personality. He's not coming down here to fight our battles. So when you get ready to look for that weapon, you got to set and meditate and press God forward. The more you spend quietly in the presence of God, the more he speaks to you and through you. And then you begin to know the mind of God. And while you're sitting there, God will give you solutions to your problem. And just as I said, we have got to start calling on our ancestors. As you know, our ancestors are all energy. Energy cannot die, nor can it be recreated. That energy it goes back to where it came. And usually it dissipates and goes back to the higher force, and that is God. But your family and loved ones have stayed around you to open up doors for you, to make things easier, to help you. And you must acknowledge them by going to the rivers and the forests this September, let's say the middle of the month, and go there with your loved ones and family and leave an offering. It could be pennies and dimes. It can also be your favorite meal that you prepare, your fruits, your sweets, and leave that there for Yah-Ming-Yeh. Because Yah-Ming-Yeh wants to hear every year on African New Year's, what are your needs? What are your requests? How can we help you? But you cannot get any help unless you go and ask for it. Those of us who ask for it will receive. But because we don't believe in Haja and the Conqueror, because we don't believe in spirits and they don't live, it's not about what you believe in. See, your belief don't count for nothing. It's about what's factual. And the facts have been already put out there that you have ancestors that have the ability to reconnect with you and your melanin and depart their melanin to you to make you even stronger, to give you their ashe, which is enough power to fight an army. And that's all you need right now is their power to fight this army. You're in a spiritual battle and you don't even know it. Somebody is challenging you about your faith, and you're in a spiritual battle. And you must always remember that spirit is lasting, but anything in the natural is temporal. It doesn't last. So you will win out every time if you're in the spirit. What does it mean to get in the spirit? You got so many people that say, oh, I'm in the spirit now, I'm in the spirit, I'm in the spirit now, I'm in the spirit. So how do you know when you're in the spirit? What comes up on you to let you know that you're in the spirit? And is the spirit powerful? Well, the spirit never lets anything slip up on you. It is a mindful force that lets you know everything that's going to happen before it happens. And it always forewarns you. The spirit is powerful like a two-edged sword. And the spirit is prompted, is never angered, and is slow to anger. And we must find that in our hearts, to be slow to anger against our foes, our brothers and sisters that we have out against. We must not draw knives and draw weapons against them. We must have patience and give them the patience beyond the shadow of doubt to find out if we can reason better together. Come, let us reason together. We got so many brothers and sisters that fight and quarrel over the least little thing, and we destroy ourselves and a part of us, our brothers and sisters. We are out there on the front line warring against each other, and white people say, don't worry about it, they'll kill themselves. Well, we've got to stop that. We know that they are killing a large portion of us. A large portion of our women are leaving this continent and going to other strange countries, and they're hijacking these women and they're selling human trafficking. And it's so sad. Our children are too. But we are still in gang wars, fighting over whose turf is whose, and trying to figure out how do we run the yard. Well, I'll tell you this. Right now, everybody's leaving to go to Africa. They're getting them a little piece of land over in Africa, and they're going to run things over there. And we still talking about, well, this is our country, and I ain't going to leave because we built this country. But look at how devastating it's become. And every day in the news, you find that our president is indicting some person, whether it be a minority, whether it be a congressperson. He literally is running for his own life. Now, when we get ready to go to those polls And that's coming up soon when we're going to have to make some decision. A lot of us have walked away from Democrat. A lot of us have never even thought about Republican. And a lot of us know that they're both one and the same. And if they are not running on the ticket to get a man or a sister out of jail, then most of us should hold our votes. At least I know I may hold my vote or use it for that, what do you call that, being independent. But we need to look at people running on the party of get a brother and sister out of jail, because that is ridiculous what's going on in our penal institution. There are far too many people that are locked up over hundreds of dollars that need to be paid, and they can pay those fines and come home. So why don't the government start there and paying those fines for those people and releasing them? Because they're making criminals out of them. They're distorting their thinking. They're in those prison cells becoming like animals. And why would we want to do human beings like that? Why? But I say that we've got to take a different look at this. And we got to realize that we will be inhabiting the riches of the wicked, because they're going to be laid up for us, and we will inhabit the riches of the wicked. So don't let yourself become one of the wicked. Don't be so conceived by materialistic things, and don't think that the only thing is worthwhile living for is to have a little pocket change, because that's all you have. We have to understand that money was not an object for African Americans. At one time, we didn't even crave it, and we lived better lives than we're living now. And now we got people got to have a pocket full of money, got to always take and steal from others just to show you got some change in your pocket. Well, all this stuff has got to cease, and it's gone a little bit overboard. I mean, our people have started out-poping the Pope with their criminalistic behavior. And this criminalistic behavior is going to have to stop. And we're not looking for a devil to come down here, because we know the devil doesn't exist. But in our flesh, there's everything wicked, and who can know it? So we can manifest ourselves as the devil and in our ways and action. But the devil physically don't exist. He's not out there. He can't do anything to you. Nor is there a heaven above you. But you create your heaven down here on earth. And let's begin to create our heaven now, so we can benefit from what heaven has to offer and stop worrying about what is going to happen after this life. We are a spiritual people having an earthly experience down here. And as we are down here, we have got to turn on our caustic records to know that we're spiritual. And we've got to stop living like we got to start living like a prudent human being. We are not cargo. We are not animals. We are prudent human beings. And you've got a lot of people running around acting like they're out of their ever-loving minds. Yes, we're in a crisis. Yes, they're doing some devilish things to us. But what are we going to do about it? That's the question we should be asking ourselves. We know what the problem is. Now we got to find solutions. We got to be solution-oriented. And being solution-oriented means that we've got to come up with a plan. What are we going to do about it? How long? Someone says not long. How long? Not long. If it's not long, then when? When are we going to win? When are we going to get over the grain house? And when are we going to get somebody